Xavier's College is a department that you have to look for. I am very happy and proud to declare that in the whole of Rajasthan, the bestest department is our college department. And then you will find the professors of our department, political science, are brilliant. Many of them have exposure to civils coaching, and then they have also enough expertise and knowledge to train our students. Having come to the new campus at Nevada, we are also planning for Xavier's Institute of Cumulative Excellence. That is, a place where we can think of giving coaching for IAS, TOEFL, IELTS, and these type of training. So our college will give you a lot of scope to improve your bright future. So with these few words, I warmly welcome all of you. Have a nice day. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you, Father. Now I welcome Dr. Meeta Sharma, Head Department of Political Science, to give an overview of the department.
Thank you, ma'am. Good morning, all of you, and welcome to the virtual career counseling session of political science. At St. Xavier's, the Department of Political Science was established in the year 2018, and it aims to carry forward the legacy of academic excellence of St. Xavier's College. The department offers political science honors and political science pass course in combination with subjects like public administration, psychology, English, economics, sociology, and history. Now the question must be arising in the minds of few of you that what is the basic difference between pass course and honors? So when you say BA pass course with political science, you mean that political science would be a subject of yours along with two main subjects with equal emphasis on all three of them. Okay, you will get equal knowledge of all three subjects. But when you say political science honors, it means that in your graduation, you are going to study political science as your main subject with special emphasis on the knowledge of political science. You would get specialized knowledge in the same. So since the establishment of the department has been following the curriculum of University of Rajasthan at undergraduate level. The curriculum is focused on more practical knowledge and more use of the knowledge of the subject. The skills and the knowledge and the expertise which is needed in the 21st century is imparted through the broad-based academic curriculum, which is followed by the department. The department acts as a facilitator in providing broad range of opportunities for the development of knowledge and skills of the student. The department engages in organizing conferences, seminars, workshops, symposium, guest lectures, and many more other events for the expansion of the knowledge horizons of the students so that they may find fruitful careers and leadership roles in future. Now, I would request Dr. Preeti Sharma and Dr. Akanksha Natani to throw more light on the career options which are available in political science. Ma'am, please take over the virtual stage.
Thank you, ma'am. So, regarding careers in political science, don't you think, Akanksha ma'am, that when we were in political science and we got admitted in political science, we found that there were only two career options, like one is for government job as a professor and second other one is preparations of GK for civil services. But today I think there may be something more in your basket for the new generation, for the next future generation. So my first question from you is that what exactly do you study in political science?
So thank you, ma'am, for the question and the introduction, and good morning to one and all present in the meeting. So yes, so we are starting with the very important question that what exactly do you get to study if you choose to pursue a course in political science, a graduation course in political science. So, well, Aristotle said that political science is the master science because whatever you do in your life or whatever is done to you in your life is actually determined by the politics. Like, what rights will you have if you're born in a specific land? What vaccines will you get? What would be let's say legal and what would be illegal in your country? So everything is actually determined by the politics, and that is why it is said that political science is the master science. So suppose you choose to pursue a course in political science, what all will you get to study? First of all, you will be taught about Indian government and politics, that what is the constitutional arrangement or the structure and functioning of democracy in India. And of course, there would be different arrangements in the different countries. So what exactly are the models that we have adopted in our country? What rights do you have? What duties do you have? And what sort of like constitutional institutions that we have through which the whole system is run, right? Then you will be taught about political theory, that what are rights, what is equality, what is liberty, what is justice, what is power, what is authority. And let's say the questions like, are we all equal? Can we all be equal? If yes, how? If not, like why? So all of these questions are addressed and taught in political science. And of course, the very interesting part, global politics, that what sort of struggles that go on between different countries on different issues. Right now, you would be watching a lot of news on what sort of conflicts are going on between America and China to establish world hegemony, what is vaccine diplomacy, or for that matter, if you read yesterday's newspaper, you would have seen that the Communist Party of China gave a full paid advertisement in the Indian newspapers celebrating the 100 years of their establishment, which is a very new thing in this regard, because what they want to do, they want to somehow go through the soft power to get the sentiment of people in their favor. So why all of these things happen, and what is the impact of all of these things? Then of course, what Gandhi said, what Ambedkar said, what Marx said, what Plato said. So all of this, what political thought and ideologies are, like what is, let's say, how the gender norms are constructed, what a woman should do and what a woman should not do. So how all of these things happen. We teach you about that. And of course, once you become an IAS officer, I'm sure most of you want to appear for that exam. Then what exactly do you have to do? What would be your role? So all of these is also taught in political science. And then the political systems, that how democracy functions, let's say in Brazil, in Japan, in US, in UK, what are the different models? We tell you about that also. What are the different models of voting also? Like there's no one way of voting and electing representatives. There are multiple ways that are practiced throughout the world. So what are those ways? And of course, research methodology, that if you want to become a political scientist one day, how do you conduct a research in social sciences? Because in social sciences, 2 + 2 is not 4. What are those methods through which research is conducted? So we also teach you about that.
So you want to say that we are not holding the fingers of Gandhi and Marx, but we are also trying to become the same in the present era for the next generation. So my next question would be, as most of the students want, that is my first query. That means during my times, it was my first query, that how will I be a civil servant? So the query is there again. As most of the students want to pursue career in civil services, how would a course in political science will be an advantage for them?
Right. So, ma'am, if anyone wants to appear for the UPSC examination or RPSC examination or the public service examination from any other state, we all know that there's this paper of general studies, both in prelims and in mains. And you have to perform very well in that paper, because you might be expert of your own subject. But then as an IAS, the IAS officers, the job is not to become a specialist. The job is basically about being a generalist and know a lot of things about society, about politics, about economy. So when you choose political science, the biggest advantage that you get is that around 50% of the syllabus of general studies paper is actually covered in your graduation studies itself. Because in political science, we will teach you during your graduation days about pre-independence modern history, the whole India's struggle for independence, and then rise of nationalism in India, the role the leaders played. That would be covered in your syllabus. Then about Indian constitution, the provisions, the structure and the functioning, and then Indian political system, that how like the whole arrangement of federalism has been done, or what model of secularism do we follow. So everything is taught in political science in the undergraduate papers itself. Then, of course, about international organization, that what does UNO do, what is the role of SARC, what are the different organizations of UN like UNESCO, UNICEF, UN Women, when were they established, what is their role. So that is also covered in political science. And the most important part, Indian foreign policy, whatever is happening in the world, what is the Indian perspective to that, how the government of India is pursuing that specific issue, what stand they are taking, why that specific stand is being taken. So everything is taught in political science, and that is these type of questions are actually asked in general studies paper. Then public administration, that how the whole administration functions in India, what are the roles, what are the tasks of civil servants, and then what are their duties, what are their powers, how the delegation of power happens, and how accountability is ensured. So all of these questions are also covered. And then international law, what is the understanding of international law on human rights, minority rights, refugee rights, all of these questions, they are very frequently asked in these examinations. So that is also covered in political science undergraduate courses. And of course, current affairs. As I told you, this paper actually travels from past to present to future. History is the laboratory of political science, but whatever is happening today, you have to analyze it, and then you have to predict what sort of policies are required in future to address the emerging issues. So current affairs are also discussed in the classroom. Whatever is happening in the country, what news did you watch last night while having dinner, that is actually discussed in your classroom, and the teachers tell you what are the different aspects of that news. So that's how we help you in the preparation of general studies.
Wow, there is a big package in political science for general studies. Dr. Nadani, like others, I also have a curiosity to know about the things that are there other career choices besides civil services in political science?
Yes, ma'am. There are a number of other choices because not everyone wants to pursue civil services. So there have been a number of other choices that students have opted so far. First is about working in international organizations. Like you go to the websites of all of these organizations, you go to the recruitment section, and you just have a look at the vacancies. So they would always prefer a student who has done a graduation in political science or public policy, because ultimately what these organizations are doing is trying to change the lives of people through policy change. So you go to this website called UN Jobs and just have a look what sort of jobs they are offering. So students of political science will always have an advantage of working in international organizations, be it UNO or SARC or ILO or human rights based organization as Amnesty International. Because see, the concept of human rights, when you want to work for it, for the protection of human rights, for the promotion of human rights, you have to understand the origin of that concept. Like, when did people actually start believing that there has to be a set of human rights, and if those rights are violated, where do they have to go? So on those frameworks, the policies have been framed, and the understanding will always help you to get a job in international organizations. Also, a lot of students want to pursue law, and I'm sure the students who join Xavier's, they just don't want to go for the traditional career choices like LLB. They also want to pursue new courses, because the master's program are now being introduced in the field of human rights, in the field of international law, refugee rights, the question of citizenship, because that's becoming a very crucial and important aspect. For example, if you see all the latest research that is being done by the top universities of the world, like Oxford and Harvard and all of these universities, they are trying to address this question that earlier citizenship used to be the sense of affinity, that I belong to this land, I belong to this country. But what if let's say you were born in UK, but then you went to US for your studies, your father is a Italian, your mother is a German, and then you get married to a Chinese person and you start pursuing a career in Singapore. Then where is that sense of affinity? How does this question of citizen have to be redefined? So all of this concept of multiculturalism is now emerging, and the students of political science have a bright scope to pursue a career in these fields. Then, of course, what you and me are doing is research fellows in teaching, not just in the field of political science. You can become a research fellow in the field of international relations, and a very emerging field of public policy. Masters of Public Policy are very popular career choices these days of millennials, and also development studies, because all of these big international organizations and NGO, they are working for the development, and the question of development is very crucial itself, that what is development and what cost can we actually pay in terms of climate change, in terms of displacements. So all of these crucial questions are now emerging, and students of political science have actually can get a role to play in addressing new sort of understanding on these issues.
Okay, so we can go with political science to international avenues also. My next question will be, ma'am, that what are the upcoming fields in which political science graduates will be able to pursue a career? That you have already explained us very well. But the question is, well, how political science department of St. Xavier's College has an edge over other colleges?
So, ma'am, before I talk about how our college has an edge over others, there are other career choices that are also emerging. Because this new generation that does not want to go for the routine jobs, they want to explore new options, they want to create something new of their own. So there are other choices that are also coming up, which is, of course, the job of policy analyst. All of big consultancy firms are now hiring policy analysts. What do the policy analysts actually do? They set the agenda, that what is the most important policy that is required today. For example,
Are you talking about Prashant Kishore?
no, ma'am, we will talk about him in the next slide. But then you do the agenda setting, and then you go for the policy formulation. You take the decisions that what is important, what should be the budget, what should be the actual cost that we are willing to pay for that. And then we go for the implementation, monitoring, and evaluation as well. So the jobs of policy analysts are becoming very important, because now the governments also, before adopting any program, any policy, they hire these consultancy firms which do the ground research, and then they try to find out that what are the most important need of the people, and how those needs should be addressed with the available resources. So policy analyst jobs are becoming a new thing in the market. Then, of course, you would have seen this face a lot in the TV after every election result. So campaign.
Obviously, Prashant Kishore.
Yes, so campaign designing and political consultancy is a very new thing which is becoming very popular amongst the youth, because the market is now open. Till now, only the political parties have been hiring these political consultancy firms. But as we see the trends in West, in America and the Europe, that now each and every candidate before the election, they hire a political consultancy firm. What do these consultants do? They do the data analysis, that what are the voting behavior of your constituency, what are the basic issues of the people in your constituency, and what are the issues that actually has to be highlighted in order to get their vote. So then they design your campaign strategy. What should you exactly do? What should be your, let's say, campaign style? What should be your campaign songs? What should be your advertisements? Then they do the surveys on voting behavior, that where are we able to switch the voting behavior or not? What should we do to somehow connect to more people? And then they go for the social media management, because most of the advertisement and political opinion building is now happening on the social media. Social media, the ads on Facebook, the views on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and all of these channels are actually having an impact on your opinion. So that's what these political consultancy firm, and there's a big market in India, because every another month we have elections in our country. So that is a new job, that is a new career that political science students can actually go for. Then, of course, last but not the least is the cephalology. Whenever an election, the polling for the last phase is over, you see all of these cephalogists coming for their expert opinion, all the TV channel debates. What do these cephalogists do? They do the voting prediction, they analyze the electoral behavior, and they somehow go for the theory building, that what are the most important issues on which the people of this specific country are voting. So cephalogy, why it is important, why the big companies are actually investing on it, because every political party has its own ideology. They have their own preferences, they have their own understanding about what should they do, what people should do, what people should not do. So if you have any prediction about this, that this party is coming in power, so all these big business corporate houses, they make investments accordingly. So cephalologists are also becoming very, let's say, popular career amongst the youth. In India, the higher education specifically in this field is not yet available in many of the countries. But if you want to go abroad, this would be a very good choice to pursue. And of course, sooner or later in India also, we will also have master's program in cephalogy. So these are the new careers.
Yeah, this the young generation is very much keen in going fields instead of having a classroom study. So this is how you have given a very much idea of so many fields of practical studies and analysis. Like not only going to be a civil servant and a teacher and an NGO job, you have offered a lot of job options like policy analyst, data analyst, and voting predictions and electoral behaviors. These are all practical jobs, and young generations and future generation is very much keen to go that direction. So this is a little bit teachers perspective. Now we have our students also who can give you the best knowledge about the entire studies in political science. So I would like to welcome the pride of the department 2021, Miss Ria Chawla. Over to you, Ria. Share some of your experiences in political science department.
Greetings, everyone. Good morning. Morning, teachers and everyone present here. So, I started my journey 3 years back with the same thoughts you guys have, like, am I doing this right? This is what I want to do? So, don't take it as somebody who's blabbering, but take it as somebody who has been there in your shoes 3 years back. Choosing St. Xavier's College and political science has been a dynamic change to me. It has changed me as an individual. It has helped me grow as an individual. So, why political science, and, why St. Xavier's College? How is it edging over other colleges? So the first thing, I stepped into St. Xavier's College, and I have seen this department literally built in front of me. Edging over the other colleges, I think I'm going to, first thing that's very important, and I think I'm going to talk about the teaching patterns. That's very important because I think our mentors are something that changes our life forever. When I still remember when I was in my school time, I wanted to pursue something different, and I ended up pursuing political science because of my mentor. For past 3 years, I have seen my mentors being there for us, whether it's for notes, career crisis, anything. I was also privileged enough to witness the online as well as the offline mode. Privileged, not so privileged, one and the same thing. But I think St. Xavier's College and my department is a place where you have a chance and to grow inside as well as outside of the classroom. So, and then the question comes, how? So I'm going to talk about 2 very recent experiences I had. I was trusted upon as well as bestowed upon with the I can say opportunity as well as a responsibility of being the fest coordinator for the first departmental fest, as well Exordium, as well as the editor for the first departmental magazine, Janmat. Our college has an annual fest and an annual magazine, as well as our department has its own. So I think that's also an edge over other colleges. These fests helps you grow and explore yourself. You are inculcated with the leadership qualities, and you just get out of your comfort zone sometimes. Another experience I've had was of the research paper. So our college has an annual symposium, as well as our department has their own symposium. Research papers, I think, are very important because it helps you it just broadens your perspective. You're inculcated with the new qualities of reading, writing, researching, which are very important in future in your jobs. You have written a research paper. It helps a lot in your CV, I think. I think the next and the final question comes down to why political science. Political science is a very vast and a growing field. I think it's one of the only disciplines which actually explains the biggest and the most important operating force on people, communities, and cooperation nowadays. This is something, when you research and Google about political science, that comes. And it's very true, to be honest. But one of the major things, in a very simple and a student language, I'm going to put is when I used to read or talk or listen what's happening around me, I never had a say in it. I just used to listen and pass by. After 3 years of my college and political science, I have a say, and as well as I understand what's happening around me. So I don't know if that's important for you, but it was very important for me. Last but not the least, I think a tip of advice: own up to your choices you will be making for the next 3 years, or you have made already. Push yourself, get out of your comfort zone. Just always be confused, and reach out to your mentors, your teachers, your friends. I think confusion creates an ability of exploring, which is very important for the coming years of your life.
Thank you, Ria. Thanks a lot. We are in the middle of the session, so I think there are so many queries in the minds of the future generation, the participants. So I'll request the participants to post their queries in the chat box. We'll take it after the QA session. Okay. One more aspirant, actually one more jam is there with political science department, and that is Devilite of the year 2020, topper of 2019-20 batch, Anika Ena. I welcome Anika to share her experiences. Over to you, Anika.
Thank you, ma'am. It's always a joy to come back. I am Anika. When I joined political science, I had little idea about the subject, but eventually my affection grew towards it. I love studying international relations and the philosophical thinkers. IR helped me to know about the relationship between countries, and I got an opportunity to conduct United Nations independently as a member of organizing committee, and I managed hospitality and volunteer management. It was really as I also worked in social welfare through an NGO called Ashton. I meet people from across borders, race, and religion, studying different constitutions of various countries.
Anika, your voice is little. You must raise your voice. Yeah, you are not audible properly.
All right. Am I audible now?
Yes.
I think you can close your mic. Close your mic. If you are.
So, as I also work for social welfare through an NGO called Ashton, I meet people from across borders, race, and religion. So, I do study different constitutions and administrations and political atmospheres of different countries helps me to connect people better and achieve desired results. Studying philosophical thinkers helped me understand our dynamics and people better. This specifically helped me when I was president of the student council. I could interact and handle people better. I remember whenever our teacher used to come to our class, she used to be so excited to teach us, and studies felt less like a burden, and it was a treat to learn something new every day. At present, I'm which I feel is an extended part of politics. I have certainly an edge on commerce and science students when it comes to understanding law, as I think I have my basis. So studying political science broadens your mind and helps you to come out of your box and understand different perspectives. It also covers a wide range of knowledge, which is quite fruitful for competitive exams and life. So this was my experience with political science, and I'm sure opting for political science will be a decision you will never regret.
Thank you, Anika. Let's come again towards the session of Q question and answers. So my next question is to you, Dr. Natani, that how Political Science Department of St. Xavier's College has an edge over other colleges. Like Father Principal has also mentioned that this is the best department working in Jaipur. So how is it?
Right. So we are always thankful to our Father Principal for his motivation and his words of appreciation. So first of all, I would like to mention that all the teachers of this department are UGC, have the UGC qualification. All of them have doctorate degrees. And also the kind of activities that we organize are actually way much better than the other colleges or the other options that you can get in the city or even in the state. So suppose if you want to pursue a career in civil services, we will organize lectures on current affairs. We will not just cover your syllabus, we will have the extra lectures on current affairs so that you stay updated and you are able to do your preparation with your graduation. Then suppose if you want to pursue a career in journalism, you want to go to a newspaper and work there. So they're going to ask like, what sort of work experience do you have? Have you published something? Have you done some editorial job or not? So here the department has its own magazine, and yes, in St. Xavier's College, we believe that if you only have one department, one like College Fest and College Magazine, then not many students will actually get opportunity to participate in that. So each department has their own magazine and fest, and Political Science department also has its own magazine, Janmat, in which not only you can publish your piece, but also you can play the roles of editor or let's say photography head, technical head, designing head. All of these roles are open so that you get some sort of exposure and you get work experience, and you also get a chance to publish your piece in that magazine. Then we of course provide you international exposure. We are going through a pandemic still. We are organizing webinars of reputed scholars from all corners of the world for the students to provide them the expert knowledge. And Xavier's itself is a brand. Jesuits are known for their quality education. So we have MOU for knowledge sharing with many reputed universities and colleges of country and abroad. Then we believe that it is our job in the college to develop leadership skills and communication skills in the students. So to develop leadership skills, we organize our own department fairs where the students of political science get an opportunity to design the event, to execute them, and to basically do all sort of tasks that are associated with its successful completion. So we provide you all those roles, and we try to develop leadership skills within you. We have our class representatives, and then through communication skills, and we also try to develop communication skills through group discussions after any movie screening or some sort of academic visits. Then we have group discussions so that your communication skills are developed. And then we believe that it's very important that during your undergraduate courses, your research skills are also developed. So we have our own symposium. The department has its own symposium in which students write their papers, they present them, and all the good papers are published in the journals. We have minor research projects, like the way you do your PhDs. The students are basically given a sort of exposure in the form of minor research projects. You are allotted a faculty supervisor, and under their supervision, you conduct a research on whatever topic you want to research, which is related to political science. And then we also have add-on courses like certificate course to add in your CV and to have extra knowledge. Then those who have not studied political science in their high school, we have BRITS course for them so that we make you familiar with the basic concepts and their meanings. And then we also run SWAYAM courses, which are run by the Government of India in the distance education mode. Also, for the cumulative learning, we organize monthly book reviews, discussions, and this year we're also planning a book fest on the basis of book barter model, which is practiced in all the reputed universities of the world, where you not just share the knowledge about the book, you also share the book with your peers, and you organize, you have the discussion on the content of the book and together. So that is what we do, which is not being done in any of the other department of political science that is being run in the colleges situated in Jaipur or Rajasthan, or let me say even in many other states of the country.
That's really very good. That one must know how to review a book, not only know to read it. My next question is that what is the teaching pedagogy in the Department of Political Science?
Yes, ma'am. So the question of teaching pedagogy is actually very important, and especially when you take admission in social sciences, because the biggest and the most difficult task as a social scientist is to remain objective, because we all grow up with our own faiths and beliefs and norms and trainings. So it is very important that the education has to be objective, and we at the St. Xavier's College Department of Political Science follow this principle very strictly, that we make you familiar with all aspects of a political debate, and we leave it on you to decide which one you believe is right. Because in social sciences, there's nothing right or wrong. There's always a debate between two rights. It is up to you that to which right you are most convinced with. So that's what we truly believe. And then we are planning for the blended learning this year. So when you are attending offline lectures, there will be interactive session, because we believe that education or communication is not a one-way process. It's you should not just be taught, you should be educated, and for that interactive sessions are very important, that you also raise your queries, you also share your opinions on any issue, and for that we have well-equipped classrooms with projector screens where we can share our PPTs, or we can show you small documentaries or videos which are related to that topic. And then we provide you, after every lecture, we provide you readings by reputed scholars. We don't just want you to read one textbook that has been written on that syllabus. We want you to read whatever the best literature is available on that topic. And then we have internal assessment exams. When online lectures are going on because of the lockdown or the other issues, there will be live lectures in Google Meet where the teachers will share the PPT and they will discuss that. And again, the discussion will be held after the end of the lecture. And suppose because, with the permission of the teachers, if you are not able to attend the lecture, if you're sick or if you have some family emergency, then though the recording of those lectures is also provided to you on ERP. And for each and every topic of every paper that you are going to study, we are going to provide you e-reading material which would be accessible to you on just one click on the college app. So you can just watch the lecture and then you can just go through the reading, and then there would be internal assessment exam in this model as well.
Yeah, this is the need of the time. Yeah, ma'am, please.
Also, I believe that it is very important that once you are in college, you should not be just taught how to answer the question. You should also be taught how to question the answers. So we really promote and appreciate all those students who raise good questions, and then we discuss them in class.
Exactly. It is the need of the time also, because we are in the middle of COVID pandemic, and there is a need of blended learning. So that's a very much requirement of the time. Dear participants, if you have any queries, then please post it in the chat box. We are waiting for that. My next question to Dr. Natani is, what is the difference between honors and pass course? This particular question, ma'am, excuse me, this particular question I would like to ask Dr. Meeta.
Yes, ma'am. As I highlighted in the starting of my address, when we talk about political science as a subject in pass course, we mean that along with political science, the student is going to study two other main subjects with equal emphasis on all three of them. Okay, and when we talk about political science honors, we study political science as the main subject, and one more subsidiary subject is there. Means we pay special emphasis on the knowledge which is related to political science. Specialization sort of thing is there. They are made aware of all the basic knowledge related to political science, which takes them towards specialization in that particular subject.
Thank you, Dr. Meeta. Yeah, the slide also reveals the details of political science honors and BA pass course. My next question is again to Ria Chawla, that why did you choose BA honors, political science? Over to you, Ria.
Riya, you are not audible, beta.
I think the technology is not supporting us. We can skip. Okay. Ria is there.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, I think BA pass course is slightly more preferable as a candidate over a person who BA honors is slightly more preferable than a person who has a BA pass course degree. In BA, in a pass course, you are supposed to study all the subjects, whereas in an honors subject, you have a specialization, and I think that's very important. You have if you know what you want to pursue, like I always knew that I wanted to pursue political science. So it provided me and it gave me a very brief and an insight view of political science and the different disciplines and the different subfields I studied in the next 3 years.
Okay, Ria. Thank you. My next question is to Anika. That Anika, why did you choose pass course in political science?
Am I audible, ma'am?
Yes. Please come closer to your mic.
Hello, am I audible
Yes.
now?
You're.
Yes. So, pass course gives you an expanded knowledge of 3 subjects, while honors will give you specialization in 1. It becomes an all-inclusive study. You can get more career options, and it also widens the area of general knowledge. It gives you a holistic environment in studies. And if you're like me who loves multiple subjects, then this is the choice for you. I secured highest in political science because instead of mugging up, I learned in class to question everything we are taught. And I actually started researching and delving deep into knowledge. I gained something new every time. So picking up political science was my wisest decision, and studying in St. Xavier's certainly gives you an edge because Xavier's is known for its extracurricular along with its academics. It teaches you to juggle your studies, and while managing a number of events, there would be department fests and conferences, exchange programs, symposiums, and of course our annual college fest called Zest. So you would be in for a ride, but you'll also learn many things in a small frame of time. You would become a multitasker. So this way you can apply most of your studies practically too. I'm thankful to the college management for bringing me this opportunity to showcase my talents independently in this college, because of which I have been able to brush up all my skills. Today, I proudly say that I am a part of this college and also of the college alumni, and I take pride in it. I had a wonderful experience and I thoroughly enjoyed my college days. I will cherish it for a lifetime. So if you are like me, I would highly encourage you to take the pass course. Thank you.
Thank you, Anika. Even we are also proud of you. My next question is to Dr. Natani, that what are the challenges one might face in political science? How the department would help in facing those challenges? As our students have already stated, they have made the platform, already they had settled the platform, but what would you say on this question?
Yes, ma'am. So the honest career counseling session would actually be the one in which the challenges are also highlighted, and I really get that you asked that question. So basically, the biggest challenge one might face if you're specifically coming from the English background is the non-availability of textbooks. There are not many good books that has been written on the syllabus of political science or any social science in English language, which are of global standard. So here, this is going to be one of the big challenges. But how we are going to help you? We have access to many of the leading library networks in the country and the world. The college has hired their access, and which means that many of the e-books which are not available in the hard copy in India, you will be able to read them through your college library app. The teachers will be able to provide you readings as well. So all of these problems will be actually taken care by the teachers and by the college library and the management. So here, like the St. Xavier's College plays a very proactive role that you get a quality reading material if you're pursuing a course in social science, which is not being actually taken care by the other colleges in the city.
How can
access to many reputed journals as well, because you cannot buy like all journals that are being published. So you will be able to read them through your college library application with your laptops and mobiles.
So do you also teach the students or make them understand how to read a research paper, how to understand the major things in the research paper, in the journals?
Yes, ma'am. So as I told you that one of the paper that is offered to them in their 3 years course is the paper on research methodology, where the first topic that we cover is the textual and contextual approach. That how do you read a text? How do you read a paper? How do you make any interpretation out of it? Because if something was written 400 years ago, then let's say the meaning and concept and the understanding of democracy itself was very different at that time. So you have to read that text in a context, which is very important in social sciences. So we teach you that, and once you start writing a research paper under the supervision of a faculty advisor, then we also tell you how to do the review of literature and how to somehow build arguments on the basis of that available literature, and then how to collect data for the analysis on that specific topic.
That's very nice. How can St. Xavier's College help in securing overseas admissions? Because the dream of every child is there that apart from any government job in India, if he is getting the chance or she is getting the chance to go abroad, then how does the department, St. Xavier's College, help in securing overseas admissions and application for international scholarship program? Because so many students don't even know that how to fill a form and how to apply for the same.
Yes, ma'am. So now, as I said, that we are living in 21st centuries, and the students that are basically taking admission this year, they are millennials, they're in fact Gen Zs, and they don't want to do the routine jobs. They want the international exposure. We are talking about global village now, the concept of global village now. So the biggest challenge the students face while taking admission abroad is that how should they apply, how should they write their statement, how should they get their recommendation letters. So we not only organize, let's say, expert webinars or expert lectures on this subject for the students, we also provide one-to-one guidance to them by the teachers. The teachers help you in writing your statement of purpose. They provide you recommendation letters, and they also organize expert lectures on this topic. And you are informed about all the options that are coming up of international scholarship programs, so that you have information, and then you can decide that you want to apply for that specific position or not. So that's how we help you.
That's very nice. What are the opportunities for personality? This is the last question of the session in a QA round. So I would again request to the participants that please drop your queries in the chat box. We are going to take that after this QA session. So what are the opportunities for personality development in Department of Political Science, ma'am? Because it's really a very demanding question for all the students. Why do they take admission in political science in St. Xavier's? How would you reply it?
So, ma'am, we truly believe that your college days are not just for a degree. That you read some papers and then you write your exams and you get a degree and you secure good marks. That should, of course, be your priority. But then college life is also about your personality development and also to explore that what side of your personality appeals you the most. Because in school you might be interested in singing and, let's say, writing poetries, and also in some sort of sports or organizing, or let's say playing online games. So there are like multiple facets of the personality of any individual, and we believe that that individual, that student, should be given all sort of opportunities to explore these sides. And that is why we not only have different clubs at the college level, drama club, dance club, music club, arts club, photography, fashion, literary, entrepreneurship. Uh, there are more than around, let's say, 20 clubs in the college. You can join them, and there you will be learning with your peer groups, with your seniors and juniors, and you will have expert guidance as well. Also, at the department level, you will get a chance to explore your personality by playing leadership roles in administration committee, PR committee, marketing committee, tech committee, decoration committee, anchoring, photography, editorial. So all of these are voluntary roles. Like, nobody is going to force you to participate in this, but if you are willing, then you are always welcome to participate in these roles, so that you actually develop your personality. Because personality development cannot be taught in classroom through textbooks. It has to be explored, it has to be practiced, and then that is the only way to develop your personality. So we provide a lot of opportunities for the same.
Thank you, ma'am. We are actually running out of the time. So I would like to take the queries of the session of the chat box. That is a major part. The first question is, does my BA program require of me to publish a research paper as a part of the curriculum? Dr. Meeta Sharma.
So when we talk about research in undergraduate program, which is related to political science, then in third year we do have a paper which is related to research and which provides you insights in relation to the research which can be carried out in social sciences. In our college, we also have a research cell which engages the student in different research projects so that you get the practical knowledge, and you are also given a chance to do the field survey, collect the data, and your research paper do get a chance to be published in the college journal. We do have a magazine of the department also, so the best papers are published over there. And in humanities, if you think of higher studies, means after your PG, post-graduation, if you go for MPhil or if you go for PhD over there, to publish your paper in reputed UGC journals becomes essential. So in your graduation only, we do provide you a chance to get the practical knowledge about the same. Means how to engage yourself in research, what all things should be kept in mind by you to make your paper worthy to be published. So we do provide you a chance. At undergraduate level, it is not mandatory for you to get your paper published in UGC CARE listed journals, but we do provide you a chance to engage yourself in research and publish your paper in college magazines and journals. So that is the thing.
I hope the query satisfies. The next question is to Dr. Dani Shaji. The question is, does the college provide a BA degree in international relations? Over to you, ma'am.
Hope I am audible.
Yes, you are.
Dear Jyoti, I would tell you that we offer pass course and honors degree in political science, as it has been already furnished by Dr. Kansha ma'am. And both these courses have international relations as a subject, which deals in detail, about the international relations. Also, as a counselor, I would suggest you that if you go in the beginning with the BA degree in international relations, the rest you are going to squeeze yourself in terms of knowledge. So I would say that when you go for a pass course or when you go for honors, you're going to collect all the knowledge, because political science has a credit of being accumulation of all the knowledge, and it is a broader subject. So I would suggest you that if you take this and you get a thorough knowledge and the base of the political science strong, in PG course you can opt for international relations. Let me also tell you, because now things are picking up in terms of international relations, people are asking more of research projects in that, in the global level. So this kind of international relations in separate discipline is coming out, but I would still suggest you go for political science as such, because it already deals with international relations in detail, and you can pick up specific knowledge that the international relations, which you said is your taste, you can pick up in post graduation level, right? I hope I've answered, Jyoti.
Yes, that hope the query satisfies. My next question is to Dr. Meeta. The question is of Anuj Nagar. How will our provisional admission in BA Honours Political Science be confirmed? Guys, let me announce again that we are furnishing some details in the chat box. Please go through that. A feedback form is also available there in the chat box. Do fill the feedback form. Yes, over to you, Meeta ma'am.
So firstly, Anuj, congratulations on being provisionally admitted to our department. So now as your name is in the list, you are going to receive a mail from the side of the college, which will, tell you that what all documents you need to scan and send to us through mail only. And after your documents are verified by the concerned departmental teachers, you will again receive a mail from the side of the college, which will ask you to, fill a undertaking which is related to the maintenance of your attendance during the course. Means you will have to maintain 75% of attendance. You will have to attend the classes. You will have to fill and send it back. After that, you will have to deposit your fees, and thereafter your admission in political science honors would be confirmed. So you will have to wait for the mail, which you will receive shortly. Then you will have to scan the documents and send it to us in order to be verified and confirm your admission. I hope it is clear, Anuj.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Welcome.
So this is how we had tried to furnish all the details in the last slide, the details of college website. So for more details, please visit college website, that is stxaipur.org. Our YouTube channel is also available there, and this recording will also be there, that is St. Xavier's College, Jaipur. And the next is very much important thing, that is the phone numbers. Helpline numbers are also available there, and admission related any query can be asked on that email ID, which is of admission email ID. So please go through these details, note down them, and please fill the feedback form first of all. Now I welcome Dr. Denny Shaji for the vote of thanks.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Preeti. And I would just say good morning to all of you. And on behalf of Department of Political Science, I would like to extend my vote of thanks, thanking first of all our college management, Reverend Father Dr. A. Rex Angelo, SJ, Principal, St. Xavier's College, our Vice Principal, Reverend Father Dr. Sherry George. Ma'am, am I audible?
Yes, yes.
Yes, ma'am, you are.
Yeah. So thanks to Vice Principal Reverend Dr. Sherry George, Vice Principal and Administrator Reverend Father Raymond Cherubin for providing us with the virtual platform to interact with students and to counsel them for their better academic future. I also extend special thanks to Dr. Meena Sharma, Coordinator Committee for the Conclave, for all the efforts she and her team has taken to actualize this event. Huge accolades to the panelists, Dr. Meeta Sharma, Head of the Department, Dr. Preeti Sharma, Dr. Akansha Natani for conducting such a wonderful session for career counseling. Dr. Preeti, Dr. Akansha, thank you so much for bringing forth in-depth understanding of the subject. Your FAQs have actually blown life to the subject, I must say. Also, that I render my special thanks to Ms. Ria Chawla, Ms. Anika Anna, the alumni, for joining with us today and sharing their experiences and achievements with all of us. I really hope that the audience might have enjoyed listening them. And I cannot miss out the wonderful audience that we had today, the young political scientists. I hope you all have enjoyed the session as much as we enjoyed delivering it to you. Dear participants, before we call off this meeting, I would like to inform that the link for the YouTube channel and the college website and the link for the online admission is shared in the chat box. Preeti ma'am, we shall be sharing it in the chat box. And to discover more about the college, I would request all of you to visit our college website. Also in the PPT description, you can check the helpline numbers. Preeti ma'am has already mentioned that for any further queries, you can call on these numbers. And participants, certainly we had a wonderful time interacting with the young aspirants of next generation. May Lord Almighty keep you all safe, hearty and healthy always. Over to Preeti ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, audience. Thank you, participants. Thank you, team. Again,
One more thing, ma'am. Can I interrupt?
Yes.
Along with this online counseling, one-to-one counseling facility is also available, for which you will have to register through the website of the college. As you can see the link on the screen, you will have to register and you can go for one-to-one counseling if you still have certain doubts or queries in relation to political science. Thank you.
And please fill the feedback form without missing. Thank you once again.
Ma'am, would you like to take a group photo for your own record? Preeti ma'am?
Yes, ma'am, sure. If we all can turn on our videos.
Yes, it will be a nice record for your session.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
Thank you, Preeti ma'am, Akansha ma'am, Neeta ma'am. It was nice
Thank
sharing
you.
with you all.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Leena ma'am, for giving us this opportunity.
Preeti ma'am, thank you, Reni ma'am. Preeti ma'am, you have done very well. बहुत अच्छा सेशन था, बहुत इंटरेक्टिव. मेरे को लगा I should join political science.
Ma'am, most welcome.
Means a lot, ma'am.
चलिए मैम, अभी कॉमर्स का है नेक्स्ट. मैंने आपको
We are
मैसेज
joining there.
आपने लेट देखा. एक्चुअली ये था कि जब भी हम कोई भी सेशन सब लोग एंड करें तो नेक्स्ट सेशन को अनाउंस कर दें कि भाई अब आपको अगर इससे रिलेटेड है तो अब मैं बाकियों को बोलती हूँ. आपको व्हाट्सएप किया बट लेट हो गए थे तब तक.
Okay, ma'am.
चलो, थैंक यू. बाय.
Bye. Thank you.